Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Subhadra Mai Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gauranitai Patita Pavana Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Netai Gaur Haribol Netai Gaur Haribol Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahams Parirajakacharya Ashtotra Chata Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada King Iskcon BBT Founder Acharya Savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada King Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahams Parirajakacharya Ashtotra Chata Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur Prabhupada King Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur King प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगामयी यमुनामयी की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, युगधर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, all glorious to assembled devotees, all glorious to assembled devotees, all glorious to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are discussing from Canto 5, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 8, the character of Bharat Maharaj, text 13. Patichu Patishu cha Mugdha Bhavena Tatra Tatra, please recite, Vishaktamati Pranaya Bharam Hridayaha Karpanyat Skandena Udvahati Evam Utsanga Urasi cha Adhayopalayan Opalalayan Mudham Paramam Avapa. Word to word meaning. Patishu, on the forest paths. Cha, also. Mugdha Bhavena, by the childish behavior of the deer. Tatra Tatra, here and there. Vishaktamati, whose mind was too much attracted. Pranayam, with love. Bharam, loaded. Hridayaham, whose heart. Karpanyat, because of affection and love. Skandena, by the shoulder. Udvahati, carries. Evam, in this way. Utsange, sometimes on the lap. Urasi, on the chest while sleeping. Cha, also. Adhaya, keeping. Upalalayan, fondling. Mudham, pleasure. Paramam, very great. Avapa, he left. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. When entering the forest, the animal would appear very attractive to Maharaj Bharat due to its childish behavior. Maharaj Bharat would even take the deer on his shoulders and carry it due to affection. His heart was so filled with great love for the deer that he would sometimes keep it on his lap or when sleeping on his chest. In this way, he felt great pleasure in fondling the animal. Purport. Maharaj Bharat left his home, wife, children, kingdom, everything else to advance his spiritual life in the forest. But again, he fell victim to material affection due to his attachment to an insignificant pet deer. What then was the use of renouncing his family? One who is serious in advancing his spiritual life should be very cautious not to become attached to anything but Krishna. Sometimes, in order to preach, we have to accept many material activities. But we should remember that everything is for Krishna. If you remember this, there is no chance of our being victimized by material activities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratviche He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, and I seek the blessings of all the devotees assembled in Temple Hall, also those who are watching online, so that I can speak something in Parampara to glorify their lordships, devotional service, for the service of all the devotees. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorified it as Amalam Puranam, the spotless Purana, because this Purana is dedicated to glorify Krishna exclusively. Bhagavatam we find exclusive glorification of Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam also promotes exclusive attachment to Krishna and his devotees, and nothing and nobody else. And in order to establish this point, that the goal of life, the goal of Srimad Bhagavatam is to develop or cultivate exclusive attachment, affection for Krishna or Bhakti or Bhaktas. Bhagavatam um, takes us on a journey from first canto till 10th canto. It also tells about through the lives of great devotees who successfully overcome all the attachments to develop their attachment for Krishna. And it also takes us through the journey of some devotees, few devotees, and they are devotees who had some other attachments to Krishna Itara, other than Krishna, and how because of that attachment they got distracted for a while from spiritual journey, and eventually they uh, came back, they rejoined their journey to Krishna. So Bhagavatam gives both kinds of examples. Those examples of the devotees who are successful, they could overcome all the distractions that came between them and Krishna, and finally attained Krishna Prem, went back to Godhead. And it also tells about the examples of those devotees, because of their material attachments, they got distracted and they realized it, they repented, and again they came back and continued their journey back to Godhead. So we have examples of Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, his Pandavas, and Rajavasis. So all these are the glorious examples which we can look up to, which we are getting inspiration from, that how in spite of so many obstacles or attachments that came in their life, they could keep them aside and focus only on Krishna and Bhakti. But when we have only such successful examples, we feel discouraged because I am not on that level. So I am what I am. I have a lot of attachments and obstacles. What is the hope for me? So then Bhagavatam mercifully, Shukadeva Goswami, he gives examples of those devotees who got distracted, but they came back and made their life or successful journey. And from their examples, we can learn the lesson that yes, Bhagavatam is meant for me also, and there is some hope for me also. I do have material attachments, but yes, if I continue practicing devotional service, my material attachments can be overcome, and I can also develop pure love for Krishna. And Bhagavatam gives again and again many such examples. We have examples of starting in 4th canto, Daksha Maharaj. 3rd canto, we have Kashyapa. And 5th canto, needless to say, Bharat Maharaj, glorious example. And 6th canto, Ajamil, Chitraketu. So, a lot of such examples from which we can take inspiration that even while practicing, we may get distracted for a while. So, we can still come back and make our journey successful. That gives hope by these lessons. If you see Bharat Maharaj pastime, in one sense, Bharat Maharaj is a pure devotee. In the beginning of 5th canto only, first chapter itself, Chakravartipad clarifies that who gets distracted from spiritual path. If somebody is taken to Krishna consciousness, why somebody gets distracted? Chakravartipad gives two reasons in the story of Priyavrat Maharaj, in that section. He gives two important reasons why devotee sadhaka gets distracted from their Krishna consciousness. The first reason he gives is because of Vaishnava Aparad, offenses. So when somebody commits Vaishnava Aparad, Krishna makes sure that for them Maya appears more beautiful than Krishna. Although Krishna is much more beautiful than Maya, but because of committing Vaishnava Aparad, Jai Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai. Although Krishna is the most attractive, he is all attractive, and Krishna is also called Madan Mohan because he even attracted Cupid also. But for a sadhaka who committed Vaishnava Aparad, Maya or Madan appears more attractive than Madan Mohan also. That is because of offense to Vaishnava. Krishna makes sure that the devotee learns the lesson of respecting all devotees. That is one reason Chakravartipad gives for getting distracted from spiritual life. And second reason is Krishna's own desire. The second reason is a little shocking. First is okay, we make offense, we get distracted. Second reason is Krishna's desire that some devotees get distracted. But don't worry, that's not applicable for all of us. We are not so advanced that Krishna has to desire for our distraction. Not required. We ourselves desire our distraction. Yes. So, but that desire, Krishna desires for which devotees? For pure devotees. So, Krishna makes these pure devotees get distracted so that through them, he wants to teach all of us sadhakas some important lessons. So, in that second case, Chakravartipad gives two examples. One is Priyavrat Maharaj. He got distracted, he took to and become king, entered Grihastha ashram, all these things to teach the important lesson. And second example Chakravartipad gives is Bharat Maharaj example, where he got attached to, of all things, a deer, isn't it? How come it happened? And we never find Bharat Maharaj committing any Vaishnava Aparad. Yes. And how come that attraction becomes so intense that he neglected his spiritual life, become attached to deer so much that he forgot his most dear Krishna, so much so that in the next life he had to take the body of deer. So Bharat Maharaj's distraction is not because of his personal choice, that is because of Lord's personal desire to teach all of us that how much we have to be careful while we are practicing spiritual life. Extremely careful. And Krishna is warning through Bharat Maharaj's story that please don't take my Maya lightly, casually. She is my Maya and she can be also very strong. Grossly and subtly. So don't take my Maya cheaply, lightly, casually. Very dangerous, very strong, very intense. So through Bharat Maharaj's story, Krishna is teaching us that as insignificant thing as a little deer could distract us. What to speak of higher, bigger, better, grosser things that can distract us. Yes, that's what he's teaching. Yes, in the beginning stage, Maya comes very grossly. Yes, the form of Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. That comes. But when one makes more advancement, Maya also makes more advancement in the terms of testing us. Isn't it? Somebody who is at the level of PhD in Bhakti, if Maya gives paper of first class, or 10th class, that devotee will easily pass, right? So Maya also makes advancement in her testing. Yes. And don't think, okay, if I make advancement, I will be tested, so I will not make any advancement. No. Even if you make advancement or don't make advancement, you will be tested whichever level we are in. Yes. So yes, Maya can test us grossly in the beginning, and the more we make advancement, the test also can become more intense and more subtle and more difficult. And to that, accordingly, we have to keep on preparing, upgrading our practice in bhakti. Yes. So, as we discussed, Maya tests according to the level of the devotee. This is for somebody who is in the mode of ignorance. Maya will not offer test which is the mode of goodness. Maya will also test him, offer him a test which is the mode of ignorance. Isn't it? For somebody who is in the mode of ignorance, isn't it? Not working too hard is not temptation. Not reading too many books is not temptation. What is temptation for somebody in the mode of ignorance? Oversleeping, being lazy, postponing. These are the tests for somebody in the mode of ignorance. Isn't it? That devotee in the mode of ignorance, he will never tell, I am tempted by reading to so many books. No, you will not read only. That is a temptation for somebody in the mode of ignorance. And for somebody who is in the mode of passion, oversleeping, being lazy, procrastination, they are not temptation. What is temptation for a devotee in the mode of passion? Over endeavor, prayas for post, position, name, fame, prestige, fruits, results, achievements to prove oneself. That is temptation for somebody who is in the mode of passion. And for somebody who is devotee in the mode of goodness, over endeavoring for post position, attachment to name, fame, prestige, that's not temptation. He is above that. For him, temptation is what? Pride in the knowledge. I know better than others. I am more advanced. The feeling of more advancement, being better, that is temptation for devotee in the mode of goodness. So, whichever level we are in, either ignorance, passion, goodness, test also will come accordingly. And Bhagavatam offers different examples, isn't it? Like that. Daksha, 4th canto tells about all these 3 examples, temptations, in all the 3 modes. Yes. So Daksha was attached to his post position. Respect. And when Daksha was conducting the sacrifice and he called for the meeting, all demigods came, including Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And when Daksha entered the arena, sacrifice arena, everybody, maybe all 33 crore demigods, got up and stood to receive him out of respect. Except 2 great people, personalities, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Daksha could understand because Lord Brahma is my father, he should not get up. That's fine. But Lord Shiva not getting up, and he's just my son-in-law. How can he not get up? 33 crore demigods are standing. Only one person is sitting. But the temptation came in the form of not getting respect from his junior son-in-law, Shiva. And that one small disrespect, for him, it's a big thing. Yes. And that temptation eventually led him to get the head of the goat. Maya knows what is Daksha's weakness. Indra, so many times we read, again and again we read in Srimad Bhagavatam, who exhibits distraction because of different temptations, different modes. Same in 4th canto itself we find. And Pruthumara was reading, Pruthumara was conducting 100 sacrifices. Somebody was doing 1 sacrifice, 2 sacrifice, Indra not taken seriously. Because Indra has done how many sacrifices? 100. Because of that he got the name Shatakrutu. But when Prutu was nearing 90, 91, 92, 95, 96, then Indra got temptation, is triggered. He is attached to being the champion of world record. That I should be the only Guinness Book of World Record of having 100 sacrifices. Nobody should be more. Attached to that. When Prutu came near 99, performing 100 sacrifice, Indra understood, now I have to do something. And everything he did in his control to stop Prutu from conducting 100 sacrifice. This temptation for Indra is attachment to his post position. Anybody performs tapasya anywhere, intense tapasya, Indra becomes disturbed because attached to his post position. So that is passion. And even in goodness it can distract. Somebody attached to goodness, so Maya can distract that devotee by sending the test which is the mode of goodness. Just imagine Bharat Maharaj sitting alone in the forest, isn't it? And do you think Bharat would have got distracted if Indra sent some apsaras? If Mayadevi used Indra to send some apsaras to distract Bharat, would have got distracted? No, not at all. He left huge kingdom. He left his beautiful wives, everything, to come to forest to do tapasya. Not have got distracted. Even if he is disrespected in the forest, he not have got distracted. But because Bharat Maharaj in the mode of goodness, Mayadevi knows the test has to be in the mode of goodness, not passion, not ignorance. And Maya arranged the whole situation. That right in front of Bharat, the mother deer jumping across the river, and then she losing her life, and the baby deer falling in the water, helplessly seeing who can save me. And Bharat Maharaj, the compassion is awakened, and then he saves the deer, brings him to the ashram. That's fine, not a problem. That is not wrong. Devotion does not make one detached from saving others. Devotion makes one more compassionate to others. That is fine. Saving the deer is not a problem. Bringing the deer to the ashram, taking care of it for some time is not a problem. That was not distraction for the deer. But what happened in the process of taking care of the deer? Very subtly, very gradually, what happened? Bharat Maharaj became attached to the association of the deer. The attachment grew very gradually, very slowly, but very surely. Attachment to deer was growing. It's growing so much so that the attachment to Krishna, attachment to the bhakti, it was decreasing gradually. It was decreasing gradually. So many people think that detachment makes one hard-hearted. Detachment makes one hard-hearted. But no, more than detachment, what makes one hard-hearted is attachment, not detachment. We have to understand these three terms: hard-heartedness, detachment, and attachment. Hard-heartedness means what? I don't care for others' feelings. I am insensitive to others' feelings. I don't mind, I don't care. Whatever happens to my neighbors, fellow beings, I don't care. That is called hard-heartedness. Detachment means what? That my emotions, my practices is not dependent on others. I care for them, but I don't allow my practices or emotions be dependent on others' feelings or emotions. That is detachment. And attachment means what? That I become attached to somebody else, that no, my whole focus, my whole energy is focused on that one particular thing or one particular person. And nothing else, nobody else matters for me. That is attachment. Yes. So, discuss a simple example. If a patient goes to doctor for medical test, for blood test, if somebody is hard-hearted, the doctor is hard-hearted, the nurse is hard-hearted, who takes out of the blood from the body. No, he takes that syringe and no pierces anywhere and everywhere. Just take the pin. No, he has to take the blood out, and then doesn't mind whether how the patient is feeling. It's painful or not. No, he just pierces anywhere. Blood is not coming. Okay, some other place, and keeps on piercing till the blood comes out. And after that, the whole hand is filled with no so many wounds. That is hard-heartedness. Yes. Detachment means what? That although the patient might be crying, screaming, don't take my blood, don't take my blood. But the doctor's action is not dependent on the patient's feelings. Because doctor knows that taking out the blood is important for the patient. Although patient may be screaming, but still doctor takes out the blood for the patient's welfare. That is detachment. He does his duty dutifully. That means he doesn't allow the patient's emotions to control him. Detachment. Attachment, the patient tells doctor, no, it will be pain too much for me. So don't take out the blood. I'll give you extra 5,000 rupees. Okay, I'll not trouble you. I'll not give you pain. I will leave you. You go on suffering with your disease. That is attachment. So doctors have to detach. If they have to perform some painful surgery, and the patient has to know the wound, the boil is there, and the boil is cut, the patient will experience so much of pain, isn't it? But if the doctor is not detached, if he's attached, then okay, he doesn't want to cause pain to the patients, so he will leave him. Okay, no problem, continue. Apply this ointment and continue suffering. But if he is detached, he understands, although it may be painful now, but eventually it will be curing for him, it will relieve him of all the pain permanently. Temporary inconvenience for the permanent convenience. He understands that. That is detachment. Yes. We find many examples in Bhagavatam, many characters in Bhagavatam, in Ramayana, in Mahabharata, who are, because of their attachment to particular thing or particular person, in the name of affection, they caused more harm to that person than doing good for them. And the best example is Dhritarashtra. Attachment to Duryodhana. That so many people gave warning to Dhritarashtra that you chastise this fellow, you punish this Duryodhana, because of that whole dynasty will be destroyed. But Dhritarashtra was attached to Duryodhana. He doesn't want to cause pain to Duryodhana by chastising him, by punishing him. So he only gave him pampering, but not punishment, chastisements, corrections. Because of the attachment, what happened to Duryodhana? His whole consciousness, his whole focus is focused on one person, Duryodhana. I want to please him. I want to make him happy. That is attachment. I want to make him happy. I want to make him comfortable. And for that, because of that, the whole world does not exist for Dhritarashtra. Whatever may happen to others, I don't mind. I want to please only this fellow. Attachment. Focused on only one person or one thing. And he didn't mind killing his own brother's sons, his own sister-in-law. He became so hard. Attachment, I was telling, detachment doesn't make one hard-hearted, attachment makes one hard-hearted. So because of attachment, he became so hard-hearted that he did not mind killing Pandavas, killing Kunti, his own sister-in-law. Because of that attachment to Duryodhana. Yes. Another example from Ramayana, Ravana. Because of his attachment to enjoying Mother Sita, he became blind. He became completely insensitive. That all his sons were killed, brothers were killed, still he is not ready to give up Sita. Because his whole energy is focused on one person, Sita. Let everybody else get destroyed, let my own people also get destroyed, I don't mind. I want to enjoy Sita. There I want to please Duryodhana. Attachment makes one insensitive, hard-hearted. They are the classic examples, which we can understand, appreciate. But please understand that don't think only demons or villains get attached and they become hard-hearted. Bhagavatam goes one step ahead and tells even devotees can become attached to wrong thing or wrong person and can become hard-hearted. And who is the example for a devotee who became attached and become hard-hearted? Ramayana gives the example of Mother Kaikeyi. Yes, Kaikeyi became attached to Bharat. Here Bharat became attached to deer. Ramayana tells somebody who became attached to Bharat. There are two different Bharats, of course. Yes. So Ramayana gives the example of Kaikeyi became obsessed to Bharat become the king. And for that, because attached to Bharat becoming king, her whole energy, focus, consciousness, all her feelings, emotions were focused only on Bharat becoming the king. And she did not mind whatever happens to anybody else in the entire family, in the entire kingdom. She did not mind breaking the heart of her own husband, Dasharath Maharaj, who loved Kaikeyi more than any other queen. She did not mind causing so much pain to Lord Ram, whom she loved more than her own son Bharat. But when she became obsessed with Bharat becoming the king, that she did not mind Bharat causing so much of pain to Lord Ram and Sita and Lakshman, that she was ready to exile them for 14 years. Because of attachment, her own husband died. Still, her heart could not change. Become so much hard-hearted that her husband is dying in front of her eyes, that did not even bring one drop of tear from her eye. Because she obsessed, I want to make my Bharat king. That's it. Attachment, wrong attachment, can make one so much hard-hearted that people whom we love, we become enemies to them. So attachment surely entangles the demons and demonic people. It can also entangle the devotees, sadhakas, practicing sadhakas, if you are not careful. Is attachment wrong? No. The nature of the soul is to become attached. That we cannot deny. There are three types of attachments. One is misplaced attachment. Second is unplaced attachment. And third is rightly placed attachment. And these examples which were discussed, they are all misplaced attachments. Materialistic people, needless to say, they misplace their attachment in all wrong places, isn't it? Dhanam Janam Sundarim. That what is that verse in second canto? Ata Griha Kshetra Shruta. Not that one. Second canto. Atma Sainyeshu Asatswapi. Tesham Pramatto Nidano. Deha, Apatya, Kalatradishu. They're all the places where materialistic people place their attachment. They're all misplaced attachment. They were attached to the body. Trishanku was attached to this body, that he wanted to go to heaven with this same body. People were attached to their wife, children, relatives, their wealth, property, post, position. All these are places to be, attachment to be misplaced. Misplaced attachments. They are technically called as karmis, where always they place their attachments in wrong place. A little better, or the advanced people who they consider is jnanis. They think all the sufferings, the root cause of all my suffering is what? Attachments. So what will I do? I will deny all the attachments. I will deny all the attachments. No more attachments to anybody. I will not place my attachment to anywhere. Isn't it? So it is unplaced affection, attachment. They think they are detached from everything, but they don't know that they are attached to the opinion of becoming detached. That is jnanis. Unplaced, they don't place attachment anywhere, which is not the nature of the soul. Soul wants to get attached to somebody. And when they don't place attachment to the right people, right person, then by default, they will get attached to wrong people. Just a matter of time. We know the example of Vishwamitra. Those who denied the right attachments, over a period of time, they become attached to wrong attachments. Classic example is Vishwamitra. And the topmost and the highest level of attachment is rightly placing attachment. And that is the goal of life. What is that? Becoming attached to Krishna, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Vaishnavas, spiritual masters. That is a rightly placed attachment. Although we speak about getting detached, but we also pray every day in the morning to become attached. In the Guru Puja we sing every day, Shri Guru Charane Rati, I say Uttama Gati. So let me become attached to the lotus feet of spiritual master. And that is the best attachment. By which what happens? E prasade pure sarva asha. All my spiritual desires will be fulfilled. So that is rightly placed attachment. So we cannot be detached completely. Yes, only thing is we have to dovetail our attachment to the right person and to the right things. And that's what Bhagavatam is teaching. Become attached to the right person and right thing. And be very careful that on the path of bhakti, there are so many things and so many people will come who are potential distractors. Be aware of that. And Prabhu is giving warning in the purport that one who is serious in advancing spiritual life should be very cautious not to become attached to anything but Krishna. Not to anything but Krishna. Yes. Be extremely careful. One devotee, one disciple wrote to Prabhupada that I want to learn particular skill. It can be like, sometimes it is learning Sanskrit or learning particular dance to become for performing for Krishna's pleasure. But Prabhupada wrote it back, no. So these things can potential distract us. Whatever talent you have, you engage in Krishna service. You not become expert in a particular field. Because when you start learning, there's tendency that to become attached to becoming expert. And when you become expert, there are a tendency to get name fame. And in the whole process, what happens? You forget Krishna, the goal of life. So Prabhupada very cautiously and compassionately warned that our only attachment is for Krishna, nothing and nobody else. Yes, fortunate we are. We have such founder Acharya who is giving the right direction, giving warning time and again that our goal of life is nothing but only Krishna. And is giving warning that in the course of our preaching activities, you may have to undertake so many material activities. But we have to remember that all these things, whatever we are accepting, is for Krishna's sake, not for our sake. It's for Krishna's service, Krishna's enjoyment, not for my service or not for my enjoyment. That consciousness should be there very much. Otherwise, we become entangled by that. The things which we accept for Krishna can become potential distractors, which can distract us from Krishna. We have to be careful that whatever I am accepting is only for Krishna, and make sure that engage for only Krishna's and Guru's service, not for anything else. Yes. With respect to devotees, that also we have to be careful that our attachment to the devotees, association of devotees, should also be at spiritual, not material. Attachment to devotees also should be spiritual, in the sense that keeping Krishna and Guru's service, pleasure in center, not one's own pleasure or not one's own service. Even devotees can be distractions if you are not keeping Krishna in center or Guru in center. Yes. So Bhagavatam in this way very systematically, gradually takes us through the examples of pure devotees who successfully pass the test which is offered to them at their level, and also gives the examples of those devotees who got distracted but realized and then passed the test. Of course, Bhagavatam gives examples of demons, needless to say. They're already there, examples. And the whole purpose of Bhagavatam is to redirect our attachment, not to curb our attachment, not to curtail our attachment, but to redirect attachment to Krishna and things related to Krishna. And that can save us. Even Maya, what to speak of Maya's agent, if Maya personally comes also, if you attach to Krishna and things related to Krishna, yes, we can pass Maya's test. And we are Haridas Thakur. We become attached to chanting Krishna's holy name. That first Maya sent her powerful agent in the form of Lakshahira, prostitute, and Haridas Thakur passed the test. Maya understood, my agents will not work. I have to go and personally test her. Maya with her full form, with all her full energies, went to test Haridas Thakur. And because Haridas Thakur is firmly attached to chanting the holy names of Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Even Maya Devi could not distract. In fact, on the contrary, he made Maya attached to Krishna's holy names. So that is the power of being attached to Krishna. Yes, Maya is very powerful. Krishna is giving warning about Maya. But Krishna is more powerful. Krishna is more attractive than Maya Devi. Yes. And somebody surrenders to Krishna, become attached to Krishna's holy names, or Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, anything for that matter, then they can overcome Maya. Mameva hi prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite. Haridas Thakur is telling, Nameva hi prapadyante. Harinameva hi prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite. Parishit Maharaj is telling, Kata eva hi prapadyante. Hari Kata, Krishna Kata prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite. Yes, each one of these Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela can help us cross Maya. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially recommended the chanting of the holy name, by which what happens? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. One meaning of Cheto Darpana Marjanam is what? You chant Hare Krishna attentively, all our wrong attachments, misplaced attachments will be cleansed from our mind. Yes, Bhava Mahadavag Nirvapana means what? Whatever sufferings that come because of the wrong attachments will be nirvapanam, will be removed. And then by eventually when we cultivate the right attachments to Krishna's holy name, what is the result of that? Anandambudhi vardhanam, pratipadam, purnamrita swadhanam. So in that one verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he's telling the power of chanting holy name that can remove all the wrong attachments, the sufferings that come along with the wrong attachments, and can offer us, helps us taste the highest nectar for which we are always anxious. That is Krishna's holy name, and fame and pastimes, all these things. Yes. So this is the path of bhakti, actually spiritual journey from removing all the identifying material attachments, removing material attachments, and then eventually placing our attachments at the right place, the lotus feet of Krishna. And through the example of Bharat Maharaj, Krishna is warning, Maya does not need a big or huge thing to distract us. Even small insignificant thing as much as deer can also distract us. How much we have to be careful. So to summarize, we started discussing about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Bhagavatam is Amalam Puranam, which dedicated to glorify Krishna exclusively, and it also promotes the exclusive goal of life, that is only Krishna Prem, attachment to only Krishna and things related to Krishna. And Bhagavatam gives different examples of great devotees who cultivated their attachment only to Krishna and successfully attained Krishna. And Bhagavatam also gives the examples of those devotees, practicing devotees, who got distracted because of the attachment that came, and they realized their mistake, and they came back and continued their journey and finally attained Krishna. Yes. And we discussed about the three terms: detachment, hard-heartedness, detachment, attachment. Hard-heartedness means what? We become insensitive to others' feelings, others' needs, others' emotions. Detachment, we don't allow others' feelings to control us. We are not dependent on others' feelings, others' emotions. Attachment, our energy, our focus is focused on one particular object or person so much that we don't care for others' feelings. That's attachment. We discussed the example of patient and doctor with these three aspects: hard-heartedness, detachment, attachment. Yes. And finally, we discussed about the different examples of the demons like Dhritarashtra, Ravan, because of their attachment, how they got distracted. And we also discussed that attachment is not only for demons, it is also for devotees, practicing devotees. They also can become attached and can become hard-hearted to others. We discussed the example of Kaikeyi. And same example, Bharat Maharaj example comes in that case. And then we discussed, is attachment wrong? No. Three types of attachment: misplaced attachment, and unplaced attachment, and rightly placed attachment. Misplaced attachment, deha, apatya, kalatradish, gruha, kshetra, suta, apta, vitter. All these are misplaced attachments. They're not taking us to Krishna. Karmis. Unplaced attachment, attachment is bad. I don't place attachment anywhere. Not possible. Nature of the soul is to become attached. And lastly, rightly placed attachment. We have to cultivate attachment to the right people, right things. Krishna, deities, holy name, service, Guru, Vaishnavas, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. That attachment we have to cultivate. Yes. I discussed how bhakti is a process which trains us to remove all the material attachments and develop the topmost attachment and the resultant effects of that. Yes. And we learn from this example. And in the beginning we discussed that Bharat Maharaj example is not a case of fall down because of neglect. Krishna used personally Bharat Maharaj to teach all of us the important lesson of being careful, as told by Chakravarti Pad. This is the example of Prabhu Maharaj and Bharat Maharaj. Their distraction happened not because of their neglect, but because of Krishna's desire, Krishna's personal desire to teach all of us. That's the most important. Bharat could have gone back in that lifetime only from the forest. But Krishna wanted to use Bharat to teach all of us that be careful. And last but not least, Kunti Maharani, in her wonderful prayers, she prays to Krishna to remove all the material attachments and develop the right attachments. We'll end with these two slokas, offering our prayers to Krishna to remove all the material attachments. So I request all the devotees to turn your faces towards Radha Madan Mohan Gaur Nitai and repeat after me these two prayers. Ata Vishvesha Vishwatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu Me Snehapasham Imam Chindi Drudam Pandushu Vrishnishu. So in this prayer, Kuntivan is praying, "Oh Vishvesha, Vishwatma, please cut my material attachments towards Pandus and Vrishnish." And the next verse it tells, "Tvai me ananya vishaya mati madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata dadda gangai vogam udanvati." Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata dadda gangai vogam udanvati. So in this, Kuntivan is offering prayer. Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate. O Madhupati, O Lord of Madhu, please bless me that my attachment directed only to you. Tvai me and nothing else. Ananya vishaya, nobody else and nothing else. Just like Ganges, when it starts flowing from Gangotri, it directly reaches the ocean and no, it doesn't get distracted. Similarly, the Ganges of my consciousness should be running only towards your lotus feet and nothing and nobody else. So Kuntivani, through her prayers, she is praying to cut all the material attachments and teaching us to pray for the right attachments, that is only for Krishna and lotus feet of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Anybody wants to add anything? Sarshoni Prabhu, Keshanima Prabhu, Remnarthan Prabhu, Vishnu Prasad Prabhu. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samasta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Very easy to speak, very difficult to practice. So I seek all of your blessings and prayers so that I also stop cultivating wrong attachments, remove all the cultivated attachments and cultivate the right attachments. Your prayers are very much matter for me. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.